Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today we're going to discuss the treason of Dr. Benjamin Church. Now Dr. Benjamin Church is what I would probably call an anti-founder. It's hard to call him a founder because he ends up choosing the wrong side in the war, but it's hard not to call him a founder because he was instrumental in igniting the American Revolution. So let's get into it. Dr. Benjamin Church was one of the most respected physicians in Boston. And leading up to the Revolution, there was the Boston Massacre. And annually, every year after the Boston Massacre, someone gave a keynote speech in memory of that event. And Dr. Benjamin Church gave the third of these keynote speeches. Additionally, not only was he elected to the state assembly, or the colonial assembly, I should say, he was also elected to the Committee of Safety, which once the revolution broke out, the Committee of Safety essentially was the government of Massachusetts. Furthermore, Benjamin Church went down to Philadelphia where he spoke to the Continental Congress and helped them plan out the war and how to take back Boston from the hands of the British. After he returned to Boston, he was part of the welcoming committee that said, "Come on in," when George Washington arrived to take control of the newly formed Continental Army. On top of this, he was given two very interesting positions. He was the first person to be named as Director General of the Medical Department of the Continental Army and the first Chief Physician of the Hospital Department of the Continental Army. Which means when the Continental Army was created, if you were a soldier and you were hurt or sick, it was Dr. Benjamin Church's responsibility to heal you. He was in charge of all the wounded and all the unhealthy. And he happened to have a mistress. Now I know that seems like a strange segue, but it's extraordinarily important because his mistress, he entrusted her to bring communications to General Howe, who was running Boston. Unfortunately for him, she was a patriot, and she decided to go to one of her other gentleman callers and give him Dr. Church's information. And this soldier brought it right to General Washington's attention. Now, Benjamin Church was court-martialed, and he claimed that he was sending this secret correspondence to try and trick Gage and tell him, like, oh, George Washington has more soldiers than he actually has, and try and make Washington look better. That was his claim while he was being court-martialed for treason as a spy, because had he not, he would have been hung as spies were wont to do. So, we couldn't really prove anything against him. Now, about 100 years later, we'd read some of his journals that were saved in Great Britain, and it turns out, yeah, he was totally working for the British, despite his high stature. And it's extraordinarily interesting that he is not better known as a traitor compared to like the likes of Benedict Arnold, for example. But anyway, he goes through this court-martial. Because the Americans can't really prove he's not lying, Washington puts it in the hands of the Continental Congress. And the Continental Congress says, okay, we can't tell, but obviously you're not going to work for us anymore. So he gets kicked out of his position, which opens up a whole new problem with the medical department, but that's for a different video. And then he is sent to prison. Eventually he is paroled, but he falls victim to the Massachusetts Banishment Act, which was just happened to be an act that was banning anyone from Massachusetts who was siding with the Loyalists at all. More or less. There were a few exceptions, but in general, if you were a Loyalist, you were out. And Church just happened to come out of prison right about when they were passing this law. So he gets on a boat to go for the Caribbean. Most went to Canada, but he decided, I like the nice weather, I suppose. I'll go to the Caribbean. Now, very unfortunately for Dr. Church, as happened fairly frequently at the time, his ship was lost at sea. And it is a mysterious ending to a very mysterious anti-founder. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly find Dr. Church extraordinarily interesting, especially that he's not known better. This type of peculiar treason in the medical department, you would think would be on the lips of every fan of revolutionary history, but now it's on ours. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit like. If you really liked it and you're new here, hit subscribe. I put out videos 5 days a week. Thank you so much for watching, and look for me this weekend. I am going to be at History Camp. If you're one of the lucky 500 people in Boston to be attending, come say hi. If you can't make it because you live far away from Boston, please follow me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and I'm going to be trying to keep up with all of those different social media sites while I'm there to pass out whatever information I can. I might actually try and shoot a live video there too. So we'll see how it works out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you with another video tomorrow.